Welcome to a video, and first of all, before we delve into this topic of leveling up your communication, this has been a very long process in the making, not just a physical one, but a mental one. This has been an idea and a topic that I've wanted to delve into for many weeks, and it just took the action of sitting down and planning out this presentation, and I've scripted this multiple times, not actually pushing the film button, recording this, but first of all, I want to thank you for watching this video because that shows me you have an interest in becoming a better communicator, and I'm very excited to delve into this slideshow and be able to share the knowledge that I have learned through my troubles and through my triumphs in communication and rhetoric and oration. So, first of all, cheers. If you have a drink, sit down and relax and take notes, if you will, because we will cover lots of information in this call. Not call. Oh, I'm used to calls. We will cover lots of information in this slideshow. So, leveling up your communication. Now, this is just a verbal communication guide. We're not going to be delving into body language or any types of other, whether it's written forms of communication. It's just going to be strictly verbal communication. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, communication is everything. Any aspect of life you can think of, communication is used in some standard, in some subsect. Communication is used every day in all realms of human life, with closing deals, with dating, with relationships, with talking to your family, with de-escalating and escalating scenarios. Communication really is absolutely and utterly everything. So, if we think of the greats of history or even the greats of today, they strategically used communication to achieve their status and achieve their power. And that just goes to show that communication really is everything. If you want to succeed in life, achieve your version of success, because success is subjective. To achieve the level you want to achieve, communication will have to be used and leveraged in every measurable metric. Alexander the Great, whatever, Martin Luther King Jr., whatever great you can think of, or even the president today. Maybe not the president today. Joe Biden would probably be an exception for this rule, if you will. If you're a liberal, you believe what you believe. I'm not here to alter your convictions. So, words start wars. The tongue is the most powerful weapon humans possess. Words start wars. Words kill people. Words save people. Words end wars. So, that just shows you that communication is in absolutely and utterly everything we do in life. So, understanding verbal communication. So, communication is a transmission of words through any type of medium, followed by a response or feedback. People throw around words, yet have no idea the weight of what they were saying. They have no idea the words they are actually throwing around, especially in situations, whether it's business deals or whether maybe even arguing in relationships or any serious or impactful conversation you're having. You have to be careful with how you choose your words, because people throw around words that have significant and extraordinary meaning, stupendous meaning, and they don't understand that. And having the ability to possess that and understand the words you're actually throwing around can completely alter your communication. It can alter every metric and aspect of your life. So you have to understand every word that comes out of your mouth. Fundamentally, comprehensively understand every word that is coming out of your mouth. And later in this video, I will show you actionable steps you can take to actually become a better communicator. But for now, we have to understand what communication actually is and the basics of it. So, you will get decimated if you are not careful with your tongue, like I was saying earlier. If you're talking to someone who is speaking on a higher echelon of communication, who knows more words, who is more philosophical in what they speak and how they think, you will get decimated. If you're saying something where you're not even sure what you're saying, let's say you're in a dispute in court and you're saying something and you're not really speaking at the level you should be, and you say something you don't mean to, and then the judge is actively listening to you, and then they repeat back to you, "Oh, but you said this. What do you mean you weren't here at this time? You just said you were here. Your story doesn't add up." And then even if you were telling the truth, even if you were lying, it doesn't matter. It's how you're perceived, my friend. It's how you are perceived. So if you're not careful and you're not fundamentally understanding the words that you are saying to people, you will get decimated when you're actually needing to exemplify and put forth high levels of communications in very important scenarios. So to start off the mental game, communication starts in the mind. Articulation, the idea of formulating thoughts in your mind and making them and developing them into fruition through your mouth. Articulation. The best communicators in the world have trained their mind to operate and to think at the level they directly speak at. You have to be thinking in the way that you are speaking. Although some people, I will say this is a skill that I'm trying to nail down, or honestly it is a perpetual journey, which we will go through later in this slideshow, but you have ideas and thoughts in your mind that are extremely elaborate and comprehensive and complicated, but you lack the ability to articulate that thought clearly and concisely through your mouth. And having that ability of excellent and elite articulation is absolutely paramount when you want to level up your communication, because even I have high level complicated thoughts in my mind that sometimes I have trouble articulating. It really is difficult, and especially as someone who is starting their communication journey, if maybe you're watching this video and you're really trying to better your words, better your communication, it's difficult. It does take a long time. I thought I was getting sidetracked. Okay. Oh, I'm just excited to be making this video, but you have to think and operate at the level you want to speak at. And your mind is always going to be at a higher echelon of communication compared to what you are actually saying. So some of the great people that communicate that come to mind for me is ancient philosophers, Aristotle, Plato, Marcus Aurelius, these great philosophers, even King Solomon in the Bible. These great communicators of history have achieved so much with the art of communication, and especially people in today, the two people that come to mind, and it might be different for you. There might be people that communicate better than these people, because I'm on a certain side of social media, you might be on a completely different side of social media, but Andrew Tate and Luke Belmar are the two people that I look towards and that I get inspiration from when leveling up my own communication, because they speak at such an echelon of communication where when I was first starting my journey of communication, I really did not understand comprehensively and fundamentally what they were even saying. I understood it, but I didn't understand it. So I really had no idea what they're saying. But now that I've leveled up my mind, now I can fundamentally understand and comprehend what they're saying. So Andrew Tate and Luke Belmar are two people that I suggest you look towards, because they are better communicators than I am. And one day I'll be better. One day I'll be better. And while it's not a competition. I'm saying communication a lot. It's not a competition. It's just kind of fun to have a little bit of competition, I guess, and in terms of leveling up. But I'll save that for another video. I want to talk about more stuff, but I'll stick to just purely communication. So look to those people for leveling up communication. And every time you hear a word that you have no idea what it means, write it down. And we'll go over more of vocabulary later in the slideshow. But like I said earlier, the odyssey of leveling up communication is a perpetual one. It is never ending. It is a never ending odyssey of leveling up, of excelling. And to start this path of leveling up every aspect of communication, you have to understand this. You have to understand it is a perpetual one. But all perpetual journeys of greatness, of excellence, are beneficial to you in every single way imaginable. So while it is perpetual, it is enjoyable, it is fun, it is wisdom seeking. And with great wisdom, you become powerful. So, next slide. The qualities of an excellent communicator. First quality is eloquence. Now, I have these definitions kind of memorized, but I wanted to put it down, one, for you guys, so you don't have to actually go look up these words, and two, for my comprehensive understanding as well. So, fluent and persuasive. You're fluent with how you talk. You don't stutter. You don't use filler words. You're fluent, and you're comprehensively making sense with what you are saying. And you're persuasive with what you say as well, especially in business deals, or maybe even dating. You have to be a little bit persuasive with how you say things. So eloquence, is definitely one of the top, what do you have, 4 qualities on here? The 4 qualities that you should definitely exhibit and possess as an excellent communicator. Next is empathy. Without empathy, without understanding, without sincere understanding of people, you will not be able to excel at a level which you could if you did not possess empathy. So empathy is an understanding and sharing of feelings of one another. You're talking to someone, this especially exhibits with dating, but again, it goes back to all aspects of communication. If you're not able to understand someone, you're not able to share feelings with one another, they're not going to be able to resonate with you very well compared to if you did possess great empathy and you were able to resonate with what they were saying, with what they were feeling. You're able to understand with whatever scenario they're in. You're able to understand and resonate and relate to the feelings and events and experiences that they've gone through and they possess and they're talking about. If you're able to relate with them and resonate with them, you're able to persuade, not falsely, not purporting, but you're able to persuade and have a high-level communication, high-level conversation based off of the fact that you possess absolute empathy. Next is clarity. This also starts in the mind as well. Being coherent and intelligible with how you talk. Clarity is absolutely paramount when it comes to excellent communication. Like I said, it starts in the mind. You have to be coherent with your thoughts. You have to be coherent, possess utmost understanding, and possess intellect when you talk to people. And what I would argue is the most important fact of communication is having and possessing active listening. An excellent and elite communicator is an active listener. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. A wise man once said nothing. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "The art of communication is the language of leadership." People look up to you if you are a good communicator. They look to you for guidance because you're able to articulate your thoughts clearly in a way that resonates with them, with empathy, in an eloquent way, being fluent and persuasive, while possessing clarity in your mind, being coherent and intelligible when you talk. 4 qualities. I highly recommend you write these down and commit these words to memory. Next slide. So, now we get into actionable steps. Hopefully, this stuff can blow your mind and change your life, change an aspect of your life in a way where you can see what you are struggling with and see how you can fix that and become better. If you want to communicate at a higher level, you have to dedicate yourself now. I'm talking right now, in this present moment, as soon as you're watching this, put the chips down, whatever you're eating, I don't care. Right now, listen to what I'm about to say and dedicate yourself to this. So, the time of filler words are over. I don't even want to say these words because I've reached an echelon where, of course, humans are fallible, meaning we're erroneous, we make mistakes. I will always admit that. I will always admit that I am not perfect. I will stutter. I will use filler words, but it's the fact of recognizing these errors and building off of that, learning. So now, which I'll go over how to actually analyze and interpret these quotes and these phrases that I am saying and how to recognize stuff, but I guess we can go into it now. You have to recognize every single time you make an error. Every single time you say these filler words that are listed here, you can even say like and you can also interpret that as filler words, but sometimes they actually have comprehensive meaning. You have to recognize yourself. You have to self-analyze yourself in a room, talking out loud. This is what I started with, talking out loud and talking in a way like this, just like I'm doing now. And every time you say a filler word, you will instantly recognize it. And you will reflect and you will have the epiphany of, okay, I said a filler word. Okay, no, I'm not saying that anymore. Let's continue this conversation. If maybe you're talking to someone else right now, and let's continue this and by not saying these filler words ever again. You have to be in a mind where, although this analogy is extreme, Andrew Tate believes depression isn't real. Filler words aren't real. You don't say filler words anymmer. And while I'll try my best to not say any filler words on this call, I will recognize it. If I don't, then please let me know in the comments and I will do 100 push-ups on YouTube. If I don't recognize it. But the time of filler words are over. When you are thinking about what you are going to say, you pause. What most people do is they will stutter. They will use filler words. Be silent. Pause. And think comprehensively and fundamentally what you are going to say. Possess utmost understanding. Hold on. Let's get a coffee break here. This is fun. You can take a coffee break if you want to, while we delve into this presentation. What a good day. What a beautiful day this is. Having so much fun filming this. I wanted to film this for so long, and now we're in the present moment doing it. When thinking about what you're going to say, you pause. This might be in a different slide, but silence holds power. When you don't know what to say, when you are struck in a conversation that is stark, and that is, you have to analyze yourself and think about your answer because you're honestly not too sure, you pause. You be silenced and you think what you're going to say. Controlling the conversation is imperative for directing things that you want to go your way. Controlling the conversation. And you control the conversation with tempo, which we will dive into later in the presentation. So, start simple. Comprehensively understand what you are saying. The simple words, don't focus on the big words like some of the words that I've used in this slideshow and some of the words that I've said physically that you've heard. Don't focus on the big words right away. Focus on the simple things. Focus on what you already know. Correct the mistakes you are making, like the filler words, like the stuttering, and then build off of that. I think that we can go to the next slideshow, which I kind of talk about this a little bit more. Like I said, tempo. There are two types of talkers. Extreme sides. Slow talkers and fast talkers. And as you've realized in this presentation, I am a fast talker. Now, before, when I was starting this journey of communication, of honing my communication, I was an extremely fast talker. And if you possess these erroneous things like stuttering and like filler words, hold on, you will sound horrible. It will be horrific to listen to you talk, especially if you're a fast talker. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm about to burp. And you are stuttering, you're using filler words, you're making absolutely no sense, especially in high-level communication and high-level important aspects of your life, whether it's business deals or important conversation you're having. You have to speak clearly and coherently. It goes back to clarity. You have to know and understand what you are saying. Like I said, start simple. Start with the stuff you do already know. Correct the mistakes you've already made and you are going to make. Self-analyze yourself and then build off of that. So, and then with tempo, I would say if you are a slow talker, you're already ahead of the game because I have to remind myself sometimes to slow down when I talk, because slow talkers usually possess more empathy and understanding from the side of the other person. They're able to understand them more and resonate with them more when you talk slow, because when you talk slow, people lean in and listen to you. It kind of feels like they have horse blinders on and they're really diving into what you're saying. They're understanding it. They're comprehending it. So when you talk slow, it can hold power, but sometimes there are places to talk fast, but most of the time, even I have to remind myself to talk slow and be imperative and be punctual with what you say and how you say it. Again, stuttering and pausing. I used to be the best stutterer on planet Earth. But now I haven't completely corrected it. Now, honestly, I probably never will. And we can kind of go into the next bullet point here. When you do stutter, because it always happens, it always will happen, I should say, repeat the words or phrases with clarity and understanding, using tempo, using a slower tempo especially. I know I've already stuttered on this presentation already. And what I've done is I've just repeated the word that I've already said. And if you've stuttered pretty badly, you've stuttered over multiple words, just repeat the phrase you're going to say. Maybe even pause a little bit. And what I do is when I do stutter, sometimes I will sit in silence. Maybe I might do this later on the presentation. Now that I'm consciously thinking about stuttering, maybe I should not be consciously thinking about stuttering right now, but you pause, you understand the error that you made, and you build off of it, going back to starting with simple things and building off of what you know and correcting the mistakes that you've made. So when you stutter, when you use filler words, pause, self-analyze, recognize the mistake you made, and it all starts with being in solitude and speaking out loud like I'm doing now, and writing stuff down, taking notes, and analyzing yourself and the mistakes you are making and correcting off of that and building off of what you already know. Next slide. So that was Communication Bootcamp. Now we're going into being an excellent communicator. Once you've built a solid foundation of correcting and self-consciously correcting the errors that you are making and starting simple and building off of what you already know. And now you're getting to the point of developing not quite high-level communication, but adequate communication when it comes to empathy and understanding. So one amazing skill that actually changed my life was vocabulary. Yes, we're going back to high school, back to those vocab lists that your English teachers would hand out. Or if you're still in high school, I guess it's not back to high school for you. But a good protocol that I've done for a very long time is memorizing 5 words a day. And before we delve more into this presentation, let me show you my Notion, because with my Notion, I track everything. Notion is an amazing tool to organize your thoughts. Let me find my words. I'm not going to share this list with anyone, but I've actually built a ChatGPT bot, which I'll make a video on later on, that you can just input a whole list of words into, and it'll give you compendious definitions, which means it's being concise, but it's also efficient with the words it's using. And then it gives you 3 example sentences using it in different tenses and different verb endings. So malleability, malleable, malleable. So I've been doing this for a very, very long time, a whole bunch of words, and I still have words that I'm still need to put in my ChatGPT to give me these 3 example sentences and definitions as well as part of speech. But just take 5 words. Start it again. Just take 5 words. Let's see. Dismal, reluctant, disdain, allude, intuitive. I'm sure you guys have heard these words before, but you don't understand them. I don't either. I still have to go over these words, these specifically. But write down words, like I said, going back to high-level communicators, and when you're watching YouTube videos that benefit your health, not stuff that devalue and that don't correlate to any growth of your life. But write down words you don't know. And then later, or even right after the video, or even right now, if you've heard a word that I've used that you don't understand, make a Notion or maybe even notes on your iPhone, whatever you have, and then write those words down. And later, write out the definitions, 3 example sentences, using it in different tenses with different verb endings, like it might be dismal or it might be dismal. I'm pretty sure it's dismal. But he received dismally. It's ollie, like tenacity, tenacious. It's always different verb endings. You want to understand how one word can be used in every way with different verb endings. So that is truly understanding one word in every measurable metric. So back to the slideshow we go. All right. Present full screen. Cool. So vocab words. And like I said earlier, always be reading and understanding. Reading out loud. So one book that it will take me a while to finish, but I'm reading the Bible currently. And I'm also reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I won't lie. I stuttered horrifically there. I won't lie. I've only read a couple books in this communication journey. And that is because I'm still learning. I'm still delving into the word of reading. But how it's impacted my ability to articulate, take the complicated thoughts in my mind, and convey them in a way where it's understanding to other people it's insane. It's extraordinary. So when you read books, especially books that the narrative is directly based off of high-level communication. I'm talking for a very long time, and I'm stuttering my words and fumbling over what I'm saying, but hopefully you are still understanding the message that I am conveying. But read high-level books. Same thing with vocab words. If you understand a word, or if you read a word that you don't understand, write it down. 3 example sentences using in every way you can think, or every way that can be spoken. And reading out loud is very, very underrated. And I think that's actually the next slide, but philosophy, history, rhetoric. I totally forgot the point I was going to make on that bullet point. But it's okay. Now, the best way, if you are looking to hone and increase your levels of communication in the most efficient way possible while being comprehensive and fundamental, you hang around, you put yourself in situations around people that communicate at such higher levels than you do. Because personally, that is exactly what I did. I hung around one person specifically, one of my mentors of mine when it comes to communication. And it only took 1 month. And in that 1 month, my communication excelled more than it ever has before in such a short amount of time. Because everyone knows how to talk, unless you're not diagnosed with a chronic illness. Everyone knows how to communicate, but not everyone doesn't know and understand how to communicate. So putting yourself in a room, whether it's on a phone call, whether it's on a live Zoom call, a Google Meet, or maybe even in person, maybe in masterminds that you're going to. If you surround yourself with high, oh, I'm gonna burp again. Hold on. Whew. But like I said, one of my friends said, the person who rolls with 4 Gs becomes the 5th G. The person who surrounds himself with 4 communicators of utmost echelon becomes the 5th communicator, consisting of excellent communication. So put yourself in a room with excellent communicators. Next slide. This is fun. Part 2. So we have that silence holds power there again, but let's really dive into this first bullet point, which is isolation in public communication, because there is a huge difference. This is something that really struck me when I came in a situation where I was speaking to 10 brothers around me. And wow, I was thinking to myself, wow, this is a lot different than talking out loud alone in my room, analyzing my speech, but now I have eyes on me. Oh, now this is completely different. Now I have 10 people understanding and looking into my soul, it feels like, with just looking at me, understanding what I'm saying. I'm like, man, I really can't mess up now. And if you're in, well, I guess if you are in that mentality of, oh man, I'm so nervous, you're going to mess up. You have to walk in those scenarios with utmost confidence when it comes to public speaking, because it is a completely different game. But to start off, start alone, start with isolation, and slowly build your way up to talking to 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 10, 100, 1,000, because that's what I'm doing currently. The max I've done so far, I haven't spoken in a room filled and seated with people, but I cannot wait for when I do it, because it will happen. Subscribe to the YouTube to see it happen. I cannot wait for it to happen. And at the level you guys are hearing me and seeing me and understanding me talk now is a level that I haven't directly related to public communication. It's a little bit lower than the level I'm talking at now, but I'm slowly getting there. And it just comes with experience. Because the first time you do it, especially in a room of lots of people, it'll be nerve-wracking. You will mess up. You will stutter. You will use filler words, and you will look. I remember, man, the first time I did, I said the word. I didn't even want to say it. For 5 seconds, just thinking, and instantly, after I said that word, I just thought to myself in silence, oh my fuck. I just said that in front of these people. Now I look fucking retarded. God. But God, I used your name in vain. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Apologies. But it's a completely different game. So first off, isolate yourself, learn communication, then slowly build your way up to communicating at the level you wish to communicate at to other people. And like I said, silence holds power. When you don't know what to say, especially in front of people, be silent. And be confident in the silence. Don't scratch your head looking around like a lost puppy dog, right? Be confident with your chin up, looking out, chest out, maybe doing some hand signs with body language, which I can dive into in a later video. And just thinking. I think the answer to your question, which you are asking me, and I'm fundamentally understanding this, is that you have to go all in with what you are saying. So that was just an example. I don't know, it was just a random example. But Plato, the wise man. Wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools speak because they have to say so. Fools because they have to say something. They have to get their input in. They have to say something. They have to prove themselves right. They don't want to be left out. Wise men speak because they have something to say. Silence holds power. Even with trying to understand with how you are saying something. Even in that aspect of silence. When you are sitting in a room with people and everyone's talking to each other, if you're just sitting there in silence, analyzing and taking snippets of what you like and pushing away snippets of what you don't like, and just sitting there in silence, confidently, with body language, people look at you like he is wise. He possesses wisdom. Wise men speak because they have something to say. This is the longest presentation I've done, by the way. I think we're almost done. But I'm kind of losing my ability to communicate clearly and effectively, so I don't apologize, but that's just how it is. The last slide. First of all, thank you so much for sticking through this video. I really hope you're able to take something from it, but let's delve into this last slide together. The perpetual journey. The road to hone your communication is never ending. You are always learning every day on an endless pursuit of wisdom. Go. Honing communication allows you to better every aspect of your life. Once you're on this journey of your communication, of the never-ending odyssey of communication, within such a short amount of time, you'll realize the betterment of every aspect of your life. Just because you've reached a higher echelon of thinking, because communication starts in the mind, and also physically communicating. Once you reach this higher echelon of where you were at before compared to where you were at before, flip that. You realize how much better your life is in every metric, how better your relationships are, how better your dating is, how better your business is. And it just makes you smile, puts you in a place of content, a peace of mind, knowing that you're at this higher echelon and every measurable metric of your life is better for it. So, I wish you perspicacious learning, so you don't have to look this up. It's ready insight into things, possessing shrewdness meaning sharp powers of judgment, perspicacity, ready insight into things, possessing shrewdness, sharp powers of judgment. So I wish you perspicacious learning and a competency, which is possessing the necessary skill, knowledge, or ability to do something successfully. Competency, competently. Like I said, verb endings. So perspicacious and competency. I don't know, I'm getting off topic, but that's the last slide, right? So I've been wanting to film this video for a very long time, and now that it's over, I'm content, peace of mind. I'm happy. I enjoyed filming this for you all, and I really genuinely hope, even if the algorithm doesn't push this out to thousands and thousands of people, even if it's just a couple people that I've impacted, I will be happy. I will be content. So, thank you so much for watching. And like I said, the communication starts now. You start now, right after this video, right after you click off this video. Don't go down the rabbit hole of death scrolling on the phone like I actually did, and I caught myself doing it. But look and develop your communication now. It starts now, my friend. And feel free to go over this presentation as much as you need. Go back to points that I've made with stuttering and starting simple. And I wish you all perspicacious learning and competency in your journey of perpetual and never-ending communication.